Do you all remember what we talked about last week? Anybody? We talked about going under the surface of the water. Do you remember? When Jesus got baptized, this is the feast of the church that we're talking about now. Does anybody remember what is the day of the month that we celebrate the baptism of the Lord? What's the feast day? Is it the 10th of January? Is it the 4th of January? Do any of you remember what is the day? It's the 6th. January 6th. You need to remember this. It's not like Pascha. It doesn't move around every year. This one stays put, and it's one of the most important feast days of the year. Remember I said if you can, skip school and come to church. It's that important. So a few of you did. Thank you. It was a blessing to have you. For the rest, kalain. I'm glad you went to school. But remember, January 6th, we Orthodox celebrate that the Lord was baptized, and it's very important. So last time, we talked about the surface of the water, right? And when Jesus is immersed in the water, when he goes underneath the surface so you can't see him anymore, this is a sign of how he comes into the world. He becomes fully a part of this creation that he made, right? Do you remember? That's the whole point. That's why baptism is important, because just the way that it looks, it shows the reality of what is happening. So today we're going to talk about the other side of that. Why are we baptized? Why do we bless the water, the holy water? Why do we bring it home and splash our houses and our beds and our icons and our windows and doors with it? Because this is the idea. Jesus comes to earth. He becomes a part of the creation. He is baptized, and he becomes part of the creation, but he makes what he is immersed in holy. He sanctifies the water, right? And then he gives the water to us, and he says, go and baptize all human beings, as many as you can get, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach them to do everything I've told you to do, and remember, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. So, Jesus is baptized, and he makes the water holy. So we are baptized, and what? Do we make the water dirty again? That's important. We don't make the water dirty again. Christ makes us holy by means of the water. Yes? It cleans us, right? And then when we bring the same water to our homes and we sprinkle it on the doors and on the windows, on the icons, on the walls, on the beds, everywhere that we can. How many of you have seen a house blessing before? All right, so you know the deal. You remember. This is what we do. We're taking the sanctification that Christ has given to us, and we're applying it to the place that we live. We're putting a seal in the sign of the cross on every entrance, saying that this is holy. We're fortifying the house. We're saying this place belongs to God. It's his castle, and he's given us to live in it, to be holy people in this place. So we, in the houses that we live in our very selves, we are continuing Christ's work of making this creation holy. Every time we come to communion, we continue this work because we give ourselves to Christ. And he takes our bodies, he accepts us, and he puts himself into us. And we become holy. And we're sent out to be his presence in the world. That's why we come to church. It's not just so we can sit around and look pretty. Although sometimes we manage to do that, okay? We come to church to be sanctified, so that God can make us holy and send us out again to do his work in the world. This is what the water is all about. This is why we bless it. This is why we drink it. This is why we sprinkle it. Because our very job is to continue the work that Christ does, making this world his. Right? Make sense? So think about that when you come for communion, that Christ is giving himself to you. And then he's sending you out. A little mini Christ. That's what Christian means, by the way. A mini Christ. Sends you out into the world to be like him there. And when you get tired, well, then you come back to the church to get refilled, to get re-strengthened. And then he sends you out again. And this is our life. We come in, we go out, we come back in, we go out. And eventually, it starts to seem like we're always in church. We're always praying. We're always living this blessed life, whether we're here or not. Because it becomes normal for us to be looking towards Christ, to be holy people, to be loving everyone that we see, and to be taking part in the work that Jesus Christ is doing in this world. This is who we are. This is why theophany is important. So let's stand up and we'll take communion.